Hello and welcome back to the NFL Thursday night DFS Breakdown. We are going to be going over the Jets versus the Patriots. Might not be the most fun game as far as offensive scoring, but there are a lot of different avenues you can go with building a Thursday night single game lineup, and we're going to get into that. But before we do, come join us at LineStar. There's a bunch of ways to do it. You can do a free trial through the App Store, 7-day free through Android or iOS. Come try it out. Come give us a try. That is only available if you have not tried us before, so just understand that. Now let's get into this slate. Please like, comment, and subscribe to our videos. It helps us a ton. Just give you guys more content out for free. So we're going to go by, position by position here, breaking down some ownership. Jacoby Brissett and Aaron Rodgers, both right around 50% owned. I'm not really going to say there's a difference with one at 54, one at 49. I think Aaron Rodgers actually would get the little bump and have more ownership than Brissett, even at less, the less salary that Brissett is. Now, Brissett, look, he threw the ball 24 times week 1. He threw it 27 week 2. He's going to probably be in that mid-20s as far as throwing the ball. It's not a spot I love, especially when you have the injuries that you do to the front of the Jets. They're missing Jermaine Johnson, CJ Mosley. They got a lot of guys out on the D-line. So with that, I think it's clearly another running game for the Patriots. And I think they'll probably be able to keep this game so they're able to stay in that train of thought. Now, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, they definitely could air the ball out more. But still, 21 attempts week 1. And that's a game that they were down a lot. The week 2, 30 attempts, which they were up a lot. So I think this is another squad that they're looking to go through the running game first, even though they have Aaron Rodgers. That may change throughout the year as Aaron Rodgers gets more healthy. But for now, that's how it is, and I think we're in a similar spot here. So I think the running backs are more so the key than the quarterbacks in this spot. I don't mind having Aaron Rodgers. I would prefer Aaron Rodgers to Jacoby Brissett. One reason is they just have more playmakers to catch the ball. Even Breece Hall is a good pass-catching back that can break, an 80-yarder. So I do prefer Aaron Rodgers here. So next, getting over to running back, we got Breece Hall, we got Ramondre Stevenson. I think Ramondre is going to have a huge workload and have a very good game. Once again, third good game in a row. If you look, he had 25 and 17. I think he absolutely could be in that range once again. And then Breece had 19 and 24. So he's been very, very similar. Breece is the better back, but I think Ramondre may have a little bit better of a situation here. If we look, Jets have been allowing 114 rushing yards, 48 receiving yards. I think both are very firmly in consideration, and I would have at least one of these guys on every single of my lineups. Now, Antonio Gibson, he's actually been getting a decent amount of work. He had 7 carries week 1 when he was questionable, 11 carries week 2 with 1 target, 12 touches. That is enough at his salary to be in consideration. $3,600 to be in consideration here to play him. Then you got Braylon Allen, who just had a giant game. Although, he got targeted 4 times, had 7 carries, 9 total touches because only 2 receptions and 2 touchdowns. That type of efficiency is not going to continue. However, they definitely gave him the ball more, and in a game that's likely to stay close, they're likely going to be running a lot. Braylon Allen could once again get that type of touch total. I'm not going to tell you he's going to get 2 touchdowns again. I do like his talent. I do think he's a beast, but it's still Breece Hall's backfield. And, but regardless, I think both of those guys are interesting pivots. Braylon Allen being 5,200 is pricey, but you got to love that he's only 12% owned. Antonio Gibson is likely to be owned decent amount at 3,600 with the workload that he's got. And then Isaiah Davis, we don't even know if he's really going to touch the ball. He hasn't yet, so I wouldn't expect him to this game. Going over to the wide receivers, it is pretty much Garrett Wilson and then everybody else. Garrett Wilson is the key to the Jets passing game. Now, they got Christian Gonzalez on the other side for the Patriots. There is a chance that he is on Wilson, and they are just trying to get Wilson out of this passing game. That is what I would do. I would be trying to stop Wilson. You key in on Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, and then make somebody else beat you, and it's going to be hard for the Jets to beat you. So I think Garrett Wilson, while he is definitely the premier option in the game, it might be hard for him. There is a chance that they use the old Belichick, will double the wide receiver 1, put Christian Gonzalez on Mike Williams, which it seems like we're trying to say they are going to be doing right now with Christian Gonzalez on Mike Williams. And if that's the case, I mean, the easiest path is likely to be Breece Hall. But let's dig into this more outside of Garrett Wilson. The Patriots, they're committing more to Polk. He had like 60% of the snaps in week 2. I think that is going to keep growing. They need him. His separation scores have been very good, and I expect that to just grow week in and week out until he's at, 80+% in a game. He would be the one wide receiver that I would want on the Jets. Now, the one thing you got to say is they do have Sauce on there. It's going to be, they have a very good secondary. It might be hard to pass on the Jets, but Polk is the one I would want. KJ Osborne, Tyquan Thornton, Demario Douglas are all toss-ups, and Demario Douglas actually was out, had less snaps than Polk. Had 3 targets week 1, 0 week 2. Not totally sure what's going on here. He looked great last year, just hasn't really done anything this year. KJ Osborne is probably the second wide receiver I would be trying to get on the Patriots. However, it pretty clearly looks like Hunter Henry, the tight end for the Patriots, is their number 1 option with the slew of receivers next. On the Jet side, Allen Lazard is getting a lot of love. The one thing I would say here, week 1, Mike Williams only played 18%. Week 2, he played 65%. Lazard snap count was still up there, but only got 4 targets with that. I think Lazard is going to keep playing less as Mike Williams plays more. Mike Williams, however, is going under-owned. 18% of the snaps, no targets. Last week, he got 1 target on 65%. I would expect his snap rate to still be 65, maybe 70-ish. But I don't think he's going to jump up to 80 all of a sudden. But that snap rate alone makes me believe that he should be targeted in DFS at 6,200. Out of pretty much all of these guys, he would probably be my favorite when you consider ownership factored into that, with Polk being right there with Mike Williams. Now, let's get over to tight end. We got Jeremy Ruckert, only 800. The only thing I want to bring up here is that he had 3 targets last week. Did nothing with them, didn't catch one, but it's at least of note. He is only 800, so if he's going to get 3 targets again at 800, I would be interested, especially because there is a chance he would get a touchdown, as you like big men near the end zone. Hunter Henry, I think he's going under owned. 9% ownership on Hunter Henry is wild to me. This guy had only 3 targets week 1, but he had 12 last week. The Jets aren't that good covering the tight end. I think Hunter Henry, once again, is in a prime spot, and him not getting ownership is crazy to me. Then you got Tyler Conklin, 2 targets both games. Could he get, a touchdown? Yes, but I just don't think there's a ton of upside in this spot. I am fine having some Conklin. Look, this game is likely a lower scoring game. A couple touchdowns changes the slate anytime it happens. So even if you have a guy that has 10 yards and a touchdown, at 2,800, that could be optimal. Austin Hooper, 4 targets week 1, 1 target week 2. He's another dart throw option, as he is a capable tight end, especially around the red zone. So I don't hate going there, but I think Hunter Henry is clearly the number 1 tight end, and he's probably the pass catcher I'd be prioritizing if I use Jacoby Brissett. On defense, both defenses absolutely in play here. The issue, neither offense is going to pass the ball very much. It is much easier to score fantasy points as a defense when the other team is passing a lot. Pick 6 are easier than sack fumble for touchdowns or fumble recovery for a touchdown. And thus, with less throwing, there's probably less pick 6 opportunities, but I think both quarterbacks can throw interceptions. Rodgers generally is very safe with the ball, though. So for that reason, I do like the Jets defense over the Patriots, but the Jets defense does have some issues. They are missing a lot of their D-line. It might be a little troublesome for them to hold the line, if you will. So both defense firmly in play, more in play than they've been on any of the other single game shows, just due to the fact that this game is going to be so low scoring. But I think ceiling may be limited with this one, because I think both teams are going to just try and take care of the ball, run the ball, and get it done that way. So with that, there is a good chance that neither team scores over 20, and that we see, 17-16 type game or something like that. Getting into kickers, with that being said, kickers become very, very interesting. So Zerline hasn't really had many opportunities. Week 1, no field goal attempts, 1 extra point. Week 2, 3 extra points, one field goal opportunity. Generally, Aaron Rodgers is pretty efficient once it gets into the opponent's area. I expect that to continue, but in this game where points are going to be hard to come by, kickers have a very good chance of getting 10 plus, and in these low scoring games you really need one. Personally, I think I would have a kicker in like every single of my lineups this week, just because they may be so necessary. They gonna probably go a little under owned, and each one is going to have his chance. Sly, 3 field goals attempts, both games, couple extra point attempts. I think there is a path to them succeeding. Now, I don't think there's a path to them really having like 20 points, but 10 to 15 is definitely on the cards there. So one other thing I wanted to bring up was the highest leverage we have. Hunter Henry right now is up near the top. Ruckert's there too, but I wouldn't feed into that one too much, but Greg Zuerlein is there as well. So those are going to get you a little different. What leverage is it is a tool we have for higher projection with lower ownership and Hunter Henry is at the top of that. So that will do it for us today, guys. I hope you guys have the best of luck. Let's make some money, and I will see you guys later. Peace.